within, like now. I want to thank everybody who came out today. This is the Keith Davis Jr. press conference. As you all know, Keith was shot by Baltimore City police officers back in June 2015, and that is where the saga has begun. He has gone through one trial with 15 acquittals. He's gone through a second trial that ended in a mistrial with 11 not guilty, and one older Caucasian woman held out in the jury. And according to other jurors, her reasoning was that she did not like the way Keith's attorney, an African-American woman, spoke to white decorated officers. We're in front of this courthouse. That's an issue in itself, because one of the issues that were raised was that Judge Nance could have taken a partial verdict. 11 not guilty on all charges is nowhere near a guilty. It is completely almost unanimous. So we are gearing up to start this fight again. Marilyn Mosby released a statement immediately saying that she was going to come after Keith yet again. We now know this to be a political as well as a personal persecution of Keith Davis Jr. Officer Porter, the first officer tried in the Freddie Gray trials, his trial ended in a hung jury, 11-1. She dropped charges. Keith's case should have slated to begin June of this month, yet the very state's attorney's office that is relentlessly prosecuting him has already asked for a postponement, which now pushes his trial back to October. What I want to tell you guys is this. This woman is dangerous over here in the SunTrust building on the 9th floor. Here in my hand is a mass exodus of 79 prosecutors within the state's attorney's office who have either quit or were fired and pushed out because of Marilyn Mosby's blatant disregard for the truth. On this list, the majority, and a lot of them, are strong African-American women who stood up and stood against her, against right, against wrong. They didn't agree with prosecuting certain cases, yet that did not stop her from going forward. So they decided to leave their job securities of 10 years, 15 years, 18 years, 5 years, 10 years, rather than to be a part of an administration that maliciously and wrongfully prosecutes black men every day in this city. 7 officers were just indicted. Of those 7 officers, the state's attorney's office knew since November 2015 that some of them were not credible. A memo was written by a prosecutor who's on this list, who now no longer works within this office, to let the state's attorney know we cannot prosecute these men on the word of these officers. And instead of doing the right thing, she decides to continuously prosecute them. When the stuff came out that she knew, she declined to comment, and instead what she did was give an excuse that she just found out about the officers when we found out about the officers. That has proven to be a lie. So for the past 2 weeks, we've asked Marilyn Mosby to drop the charges and free Keith Davis. Today, we're no longer saying drop the charges. We're saying that we know the facts are on our side. We're saying that you tried this case now twice and it did not work out in your favor. We're saying now a jury of his peers, 2 sets, said we do not believe your stories, your facts, nor your narratives. So we're telling you today, go ahead and try the case. Because here's what we do know, an acquittal, and when he is acquitted, will be a substantial blow to her political career that she's trying so hard to hold on to. So one of the things we need to keep in mind is that, and I just have some points so that I don't forget, in a city where crime and mayhem is at an all-time high, the revolving door of the state's attorney's office since Marilyn Mosby was elected chief prosecutor is more than a cause for concern. Experienced prosecutors have left under this administration, some refusing to work with under someone with a blatant disregard for the truth. That is a quote from one of the exiting prosecutors. Others being forced out of their position because of them affirming that a job of a prosecutor is to be fair, but focused on prosecuting cases. With a steady rising homicide rate as it stands today because of Marilyn Mosby's lack of leadership as well as lack of knowledge, this administration does not have the numbers nor experience to even prosecute any case, much less homicide cases, adequately. No fault of the prosecutors that are still there. This is a leadership issue. Marilyn Mosby ran for office to be a prosecutor, yet that's not what she's been doing. Mosby is focused not on justice or even prosecuting real cases. Instead, she's focused on relentless prosecution, whether it be wrongful or malicious. She's been hell-bent, and all of the cases she's been hell-bent on have huge political undertones, such as the Felicia Barnes murder case, Keith Davis Jr. case. All of these things are for her future career security. It's for her, not for what's best for the city, the people of the city. The State's Attorney's Administration is not trying to build partnerships. They're not trying to reduce violence, nor are they trying to find solutions to help this city from bleeding out. Mosby continues to point fingers in all directions, including at the media, the police. She complains about BPD on being properly trained, yet never comes up with solutions to help the situation. In order to do that, to find solutions, you would have to have good relationships within the communities, with the citizens, with the police, with the media, with all constituents. Marilyn Mosby does not have that. If you pay attention to the media interviews, watch how she responds when she's asked a question about anything pertaining to her administration, her decisions, or her choices, or anything that generally makes sense. You also have to have a know-how, something she just does not. Marilyn Mosby always plays the victim. Last night, we spent the time at a fundraiser in DC, in the swankiest and the richest part of DC I've ever seen. Yet she's running for re-election in a city here. She has run and tried to garner votes by saying she's the reason for criminal reform, by playing the victim. In the city of Baltimore, as the Baltimore City State's Attorney, you are the system, therefore you cannot be a victim of it. Mosby has never tried a homicide. She's never seen a family praying in a courtroom. She's never seen one side praying that justice come for their loved one, while another family is across the road praying for the truth to prevail and the horrible cloud to be casted down from their loved one. That's why she has not thought twice about dragging the family of homicide victim Kevin Jones through this experience again, knowing that the facts are not on her side.
No, don't say no more.
There is a grave disconnect anytime it's friends of hers that are head of homicide. Not because they are experienced, not because they've worked their way up into that position. In fact, Patricia DeMayo, who's head of felony, has never prosecuted a homicide. She got in that position simply because she did not challenge Marilyn Mosby. And any prosecutor that has challenged her, they find themselves on this list that circulated today. There is a mass exodus at the prosecutor's office. There is a mass exodus at the state attorney's office. And in a city where the homicide rate continues to climb, we're at 143 and it's only June 1st. There is not enough prosecutors to adequately prosecute these cases, which means justice is nowhere in sight. I'm here today to let you guys know it looks like we're headed in worse days. If we don't wake up, hold Marilyn Mosby accountable, as well as all other people in the city who politically play with our lives for their personal, political, and financial and career gain, we're in trouble. Mosby, as well as her entourage, has exploited the city and has been riding on the coattails of the death of Freddie Gray since May 2015. Nick Mosby, remember, was a councilman in the district where Freddie Gray was killed. He rode those coattails all the way to Annapolis. Bilal Ali was a community liaison. He rode those coattails all the way to Annapolis. This has never been about justice. This has never been about fairness. Her own statement says she is on a relentless pursuit for this victim's family. Where was Freddie Gray's relentless pursuit? After a mistrial of the same verdict of 11-1, charges were dropped. But to come after a man that all of your evidence shows is innocent. Twice you have taken him to trial. You wasted resources, money, time, energy, knowing that you've had 2 crack activists and 2 juries of his peers told you no, we don't believe it. All that she does, all decisions that she makes is directly affected to crime. It's directly affected to the homicide spike. There's a Stop the Violence initiative given by the person that perpetuates the violence. Even down to our mayor. Our mayor has been absent. She has been MIA. She has not mentioned these homicides. And stop not looking at the real issue. We're taking the time to go after men we know are innocent. Those 7 officers had dozens of cases. Dozens of men are wrongly prosecuted, wrongly indicted. But yet we spent the time and the energy. Here's what I learned from my research. Killers aren't born every day. They don't go from 0 to 100. These murders that are racking up are coming from the same ones that have done it last year, and they're doing it now. But if we're a city that is not focused, we're only focused on cases that we feel like we need to keep prosecuting until someone sees it our way instead of following the facts, and we're not going after the real people that are committing these acts, then yeah, our homicide rate will continue to climb. Everyone wants to support Marilyn Mosby because she's black. Here's the thing. I will always give credit where it is due, but I will not applaud a fish for swimming. You don't get any rewards for being in the game. You have to show and prove. Anytime anyone from the public asks her, anytime anyone asks her anything about what it is that she's doing, she does not have an answer, or she lies, or she rushes off. We need to remember she was voted in, therefore we can vote her out. It was on the backs of black women that got her in that office. It will be the same black women in her office that she disrespected, that she took and pushed out because they stood up and challenged her, that will get her out. You want to help Keith? Because many people ask me how they can. Continue to lift his name up. Continue to tell people what's being done to him. Continue to tell him that he was shot at 44 times and hit 3 times. Continue to tell that he was a husband who went to work every day, that he has 4 children that are waiting for him to come home. Continue to tell people that he's sitting in jail with a bullet in his neck, and the people downtown are not looking for the murder of this crime they're alleging he committed, but instead they're trying to make it fit. Because at the end of the day, Baltimore City Police shot the wrong man on June 7th, 2015. And instead of going after them, instead of getting to the bottom of what happened, Marilyn Mosby offered Keith up as a sacrificial lamb that she wouldn't go rogue like she did with Freddie Gray. She tried to regain the trust of police, even though it failed miserably because the damage was already done. That's not Keith's fault, and it should be happening at his expense. Until this stops, until he's home, I'll continue to do what it is that I'm doing. And today, I'm telling you, myself, you don't have to drop the charges because the facts are on our side. And not if, but when Keith is acquitted. That will be the biggest substantial blow to your political career. And I'll be sure to go everywhere and let everybody know that once again, you tried it and you lost. You've worked very hard, and I shouldn't have to fight this hard. I've been doing this for 2 years, day in and day out, still being a mother, still going to school, still going to work, and fighting to get my husband back home because that's where he belongs. The last time I saw my husband, he left out. The last time I talked to him, he was being shot by police, and then he never made it back home. And this stops now. You want to prosecute him? You want to be relentless? Do it now. We can go in a court now. His legal team is ready. The evidence is ready. Yet you still ask for postponement to October. When October comes around, hopefully there's still prosecutors left in the state's attorney's office, we're ready to go. At the end of the day, the facts are not on your side. And we understand that there's no justice, there's just us. You can't silence me like they did in this courtroom. They took my tweets. They printed them out. They asked for mistrials. They asked me move from the courtroom. There is nothing you will be able to do to stop me. I will be just as relentless as you are in this malicious prosecution that I am until my husband is free. Free Keith Davis.
Free Keith Davis.
Mic check.
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 Free Keith Davis.
Free Keith Davis.
Free Keith Davis.
Free Keith Davis.
Give us a courtroom. Let's try this again. No more postponements. Let's do it again for the third time. The facts are on our side. The truth is on our side. And at the end of the day, you can't hold them forever. Thank you, guys.
We all we got. We all we need. We all we got. We all we need.